Welcome to the Triathlon Nutrition Academy podcast, the show designed to serve you up evidence-based sports nutrition advice from the experts. Hi, I'm your host Taryn, accredited practicing dietitian, advanced sports dietitian, and founder of Dietitian Approved. Listen as I break down the latest evidence to give you practical, easy to digest strategies to train hard, recover faster, and perform at your best. You have so much potential, and I want to help you unlock that with the power of nutrition. Let's get into it. Welcome to the very first episode of the Triathlon Nutrition Academy podcast. It's your place to learn how to nail the fourth leg of triathlon with nutrition. Welcome. I'm so excited that you're here. It's been a long time coming, but the podcast is finally here. Now, I know that sports nutrition can be super complicated, but that doesn't mean you need to really struggle trying to figure it out for yourself. There is so much nutrition BS and misinformation out there. I know how easy it can be to get led astray by your well-meaning training buddies with maybe more experience, maybe they have sicker abs or faster times, and they've probably figured out what works for them, right? But nutrition is so individual, and what works for them may not be the best approach for you. It makes my blood boil seeing unqualified people dish out nutrition advice. Everyone seems to be a friggin' expert. So my goal with this podcast is to bring you the latest and greatest evidence-based sports nutrition advice from an expert. So before we get too much further, let me introduce myself. Hi, I'm Taryn. I'm an accredited practicing dietitian and advanced sports dietitian, which means basically that I've done more than 6 years of university level study to be where I am today. So let me get a bit of the nerdy stuff out of the way and just give you a bit of background information about who I am and where I've come from. So when I say that I'm an expert, you can trust that I'm actually an expert. So a bit of backstory. Prior to uni, I did my Cert 3 in fitness. I was an aerobics instructor through uni. It paid the bills. And then I did a 4-year undergrad degree in nutrition and dietetics. And I finished with honours because that's the sort of person I am. And our degree is pretty hectic. It's like medicine, but with food. So through uni, I also went to Canada every holidays. So over the uni break, I did my level 1 ski instructor training in Canada, and I'd go to Big White and teach skiing, which is pretty cool. So I taught aerobics when I was at uni, and then in the break, I went and taught skiing. After uni, I did some further study to become a sports dietitian. So part of that is doing our sports nutrition course to become a sports dietitian. And I also did the International Olympic Committee diploma in sports nutrition. So that's just 2 years post-grad study, and that's pretty intense, particularly after you've done 4 years of hardcore uni. It was hard to sort of do that on top of. But it just means that I am like an expert sports dietitian. I've done extra study to call myself a sports dietitian on top of just dietetics, and then gone even further with that. I'm also an ISAC accredited anthropometrist. So that just means that I'm qualified at the international level to do body composition assessment with skin folds. And I'm going to talk about exactly what that is in a future episode. I was also really lucky to do a fellowship at the AIS, at the Australian Institute of Sport, for 2 years. And off the back of that, I was contracted to Triathlon Australia. So I was one of only 2 dietitians that looked after our Australian triathlon and para-triathlon team for the last 6 years, which was amazing. It was basically a dream job. So I combined that Triathlon Australia elite sport work with private practice here in Brisbane, Australia. So I founded Dietitian Approved back in 2014, really with a passion to help people eat for health and performance. So I would do private practice, and I saw, grassroots beginners all the way up to more sort of elite age group athletes in day-to-day private practice. And then conversely also did elite athlete sport stuff with Triathlon Australia. I had a really good breadth of practice from the beginning of triathlon adventures for some people right up to our Australian triathlon team. So dream job for me. And I don't tell you that to just sound like a dick. I don't want to sound like an arrogant wanker. I don't actually really like talking about myself, but I tell you that so that you have an understanding of my qualifications and experience, so that when I'm talking about endurance sports nutrition, it really is my specialty. I live and breathe it, and triathlon is my jam. Because over the last 13 years or so, I've worked with hundreds of triathletes, from complete beginners, never done triathlon before, don't know how to put cleats into pedals, all the way up to Kona winners. And then also in the elite space, working with Olympic distance and sprint and distance Australian elite athletes. So really cool scope of practice. I also did triathlon myself. I haven't done anything recently because, kids is a bit of a spanner in that. But as an age group triathlete and working full time, I really do understand the juggle of trying to train and work with family commitments and just the practicalities of train, eat, sleep, repeat. So if you're a triathlete who wants to get fitter, faster, stronger, and healthier, consider this podcast as your secret weapon in your ear. I'm so excited to finally be bringing it to you. It's been in the pipeline for such a long time, but it's finally here. So enjoy! Thanks for joining me for this episode of the Triathlon Nutrition Academy podcast. I would love to hear from you. If you have any questions or want to share with me what you've learnt, email me at podcast@dietitianapproved.com. You can also spread the word by leaving me a review and taking a screenshot of you listening to the show. Don't forget to tag me on social media at dietitian.approved so I can give you a shout out too. If you want to learn more about what we do, head to dietitianapproved.com. And if you want to learn more about the Triathlon Nutrition Academy program, head to dietitianapproved.com/academy. Thanks for joining me, and I look forward to helping you smash it in the fourth leg. Nutrition!